Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Betty, and I am gathered here with a group of amazing financial leaders that I had the pleasure of being with at a conference over the weekend. We're here to have some conversation, and this is just a roundtable, a tabletop conversation around finances. And I'm going to ask each one of you to just give us a little bit of an overview of what it is that you do for your clients right now. And let's start with you, Kelly.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Kelly Gushue, and I'm a financial coach and the founder of Personal Finance Warrior. I like to say that I train women to become personal finance warriors. My background is I was a portfolio strategist at Fidelity, one of the large platforms, and then I was trained as a financial advisor. And today I operate independently as a financial coach and really focus on the financial education as well as creating financial plans for women entrepreneurs. The number one mistake that I see is that women are not investing alongside of their business. They're often waiting. Maybe they think that their business will be their retirement plan or will be their wealth plan. And I want to encourage them to start the investing process alongside as they're building their business.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kelly. And so if people want to get a hold of you, where would they get a hold of you?
Sure. And so you can find me at Personal Finance Warrior. And then I have a list, can subscribe to my newsletter. And then I have a list of coaching services that are available.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kelly. We'll come back to you. So Amanda Taylor, why don't you give us your background and what it is that you do for your clients and where people can get a hold of you?
Absolutely. I started my entrepreneurial journey as a real estate investor almost by accident and kind of grew into it, and moving from employee to entrepreneur and then going from married with the husband with the retirement plan to divorced and self-employed. I had to learn, just like Kelly said, how to invest outside of those typical employee means. It didn't have a 401k. I'm a proud Gen Xer. I'm not going to have Social Security. And it's like, no one's coming to save us. So I went on a mission to learn how to grow my wealth outside of my business. And like Kelly, I am now, through Expand Your Empire, educating and empowering women to do the same, and learn about all the different investment vehicles available to us so that we can grow our wealth outside of our business and set ourselves up to build generational wealth. And you can find me at expandyourempire.org. I have a community, coaching, and courses all there for everyone. And that's what I do.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Amanda. And let's go right into Elizabeth Fuchs. Elizabeth, why don't you tell us what you do for your clients right now and how we get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Betty. So my name is Elizabeth Fuchs, and I have a company under the name of Anura Financial Services. And what I dedicate myself with is really working with entrepreneurs who are looking to expand and create impact around the world and gain access to working capital. So I have 30 years of financial services experience working with many entrepreneurs in the commercial and mid-corporate space. So I bring that to the table for you. The way to get a hold of me is through anurafinancialservices.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And Ambrose, if you could tell us what you currently do for your clients and how we get a hold of you, that would be great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yes, I work with small business owners. I've been helping small business owners be educated and have access to working capital of all sorts, from the general working capital to acquisitions to partner buyouts, partner buy-ins, and really help them understand the cash flow cycle and help them understand access to capital from a cash flow perspective as well. That's money coming in, money going out, and money circulate within the company. And I've been doing this for well over 20 years. And I do it through a series of different methods, online, guesting, through my book. They can find me either through LinkedIn, Ambro Blackwell, my website, yourcashflowstrategist.com, or Instagram, Ambro Black.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ambro. And I'm Dr. Betty Uribe. I'm a strategic business advisor, specializing in business expansion and turnarounds. My passion project is elevating high-level performance CEOs and business leaders to unprecedented levels in their business and their life. I anchor you in your retirement toast, and then I take you back to where you are and right back into getting you to your retirement toast way before you think you're going to retire. The book I wrote is #Values, The Secret to Top Level Performance in Life, and it shares some key lessons from great leaders in the military, finance, and business. And my biggest accomplishment is to live a life well lived and to advise people how to do the same. The way to get a hold of me is just through LinkedIn, Dr. Betty Uribe, or drbettyuribe.com. Okay, so now we get to the fun part. Last night we had an incredible conversation, and we decided that we're going to do this because there's so much value that each individual in this room brings to the table that we really wanted to get together and just have dialogue around what are some of the key things that you, the audience, the business owner, the entrepreneur, the top executive in a big business, what you can get and glean from this group. This is going to be a weekly series that we're going to be putting on in our respective YouTube channels. And so we invite you to go to our YouTube channels or invite you to go to LinkedIn, into our social media, so that you can, every week for the month of March, you will be getting a lot of nuggets from each one of us. So with no further ado, I'm going to start with a question. So in starting with the very beginning with the startup. So I'm going to do some questions from the very beginning, and then we'll get to when you're really a big company and then what you do. So with a startup. So I'm starting a company and I want to put together my business plan, and I want to make sure that I have all of the pieces of the nuggets together for just a brand new startup. I have a great idea. I've been told that I'm a genius in what I do. What do I do to get myself started? Who would like to bring that up?
I can start because I deal with this a lot. And then unfortunately, not everybody comes to me with that business plan all laid out. They've got a great idea and not a lot of execution. So start there. Step number one. But when you're in that scenario and you're just getting started and you don't have revenue coming in, you can leverage business credit. And that is something that my company provides. There's a couple different ways to do it. If you have, around 700 FICO, you can personally guarantee business credit on your EIN at 0% interest for anywhere from 12 to 24 months. And that just gives you the runway to do the things that you need to do to build up your business, knowing that that revenue will come in from that business, be able to pay off those cards, and you'll be able to scale from there.
Beautiful. So that's to pay it off. Now, to get a business plan, what is the easy way to put together a business plan? The easiest way to put together a business plan for a business owner that's never done it before. Okay, so
Ambro, we're going to take that one.
Ambro, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I would say there's a lot of different tools out there. It depends on what your resources are. If you don't have financial means, which would be another question as to why you would be going into business and venturing to start with, because it does require some capital, but you can go to different resources. There's places like SCORE. You can go to each and any one of us. We can point you in the right direction. And there's some low cost and sometimes free tools out there that will at least give you a framework to start with. Now, once you have that, you can go to someone like us, and it helps us to help accelerate taking you in the right direction. So I would say starting there, that's a big part of your research. You need to take analysis of what you have and what you're going to need so we can help guide you in direction to bridge that gap.
One of the things that I'll add to what you just said, Ambro, is AI, and a lot of people are using AI quite a bit. So the prompt in AI is very simple. So you basically like talking to your best friend in AI, and you just say something like, I am a brand new entrepreneur, and my idea is to sell X, Y, and Z. I have 3 years experience, or I have 30 years experience. And I really want to put together a 5-year plan so that I can show to my uh, advisor, strategic advisor, and they can help me with this. Then you can talk about the resources that you have and the ideas and what it is that you bring to the table, what makes me different from other people, and what is my niche, meaning the avatar. The avatar is the type of client, your ideal client. So it's going to be really important that you get really focused on whatever your avatar is, because then your business plan will be more succinct and more to the point, and you will have less changes to make once you go to one of us to support you. Okay, so now I have a business plan, and then we talked a little bit about how to expand the business. So now let's go to a little bit of a larger business. Now I've been in business for 3 years, and I'm looking to, and I've been profitable a little bit. And so now I want to expand my business. I want to start hiring people because I've been doing everything myself, and I want to start hiring people. How do I know that I can qualify for a loan or a line of credit or a grant, or what are the best ways for me to get some capital to expand?
Well, there's a couple of resources that are available to everyone. I would recommend you start with your Small Business Administration office, especially if you've been in business for only 3 years, and really leverage the resources there. They have financial consultants that can help you, guide you. This is the kind of financial reporting you need to be able to demonstrate. This is a cash flow statement that dictates how much money your business is generated and how much working capital it requires in order to continue to expand. So that would be a way to start. If you do have your financial resources in order and you have financial statements, then you can start looking for access to working capital through financial institutions or through private debt, depending on where you sit in the risk profile, right?
Yes.
I would say that the more money you want, then the more professionalism you will require in your financial reporting. So that's when you start engaging your accountant and you start engaging a professional CPA to start putting together your financial statements so that you can have a third-party verification of those numbers and give you a little bit more credibility when you're going out to looking for additional working capital.
So what are the things that you look for when you're looking at a business to finance or to help find working capital for them? So if I were the business owner coming to you, what are the things that I want to make sure that I watch out for as I'm running my business so that I can be ready for the time when I need working capital?
Well, I would say that in terms of, and this kind of adds to what she just shared, in my perspective, ideally, you would have had your ABCs together. You'd have your attorney, you'd have your banker, and you have your CPA or accountant. And they would be helping guide you in the direction of making sure you're prepared and you have your financials together, making sure you haven't written everything off to show that you actually have additional funds to take on this additional debt that you're going to be servicing. Because when you take on debt, there's going to be payments that's going to come with interest. So you want to be able to make sure you have that. And then you also need a needs analysis. What are the additional impacts that's going to take place with that? Are you going to have to add additional withholdings for your employees and FICA? And depending on what state you're in, of course, talk to your accountant, your attorney. But there may be other things you may need to provide, like benefits. So these are all things that you have to take in consideration when you're looking to approach someone for financing.
That's
Ambro-
wonderful.
Sorry, Ambro brings a really good point. There's always a balancing act, right, with entrepreneurs to minimize your tax impact and being able to demonstrate a business that's viable. So as you are looking into minimizing that tax impact, understand that that also impacts your access to working capital. So that you will need to demonstrate a business that is profitable, a business that doesn't look too levered, a business that has access to, think of sources of repayment. What would be the source of repayment for that debt? So think of their first source of repayment would be your cash flow. Your second source of repayment would be some sort of collateral if you have it. And your tertiary source of repayment is usually you personally.
Yes. So we look for character of the individual and how long the person has been in business. Also, what is it that you're using the money for? It's really important. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Very good points there as well. What are you using the money for? Because in Kelly, you were saying this yesterday in our conversation. People come in and say, "Oh, I want as much as you can give me, and and just give it to me. I'll figure it out." The whoever it is that's lending you money, whether it's a private person or a private equity or whomever, they want to know that you have really thought out what you want the money for. Is it for expansion? Is it for capital investments? Is it for equipment? Is it for personnel? You need to hire more personnel. What is it? In that you've done the math. If you don't have someone to do the math, you can contact any one of us here and we can actually send you to the right person. Kelly, is there anything else? I want to make sure that I don't put words in your mouth. I know you said some of those things.
And to add a couple of more details. So first, for women out there, First Women's Bank, based in Chicago, is a great resource, and they focus on female founders. And especially for female founders, the statistics are often working against female founders. So that bank was started actually within the last 5 years to focus on providing funding for women entrepreneurs. And then I also just wanted to provide a little bit more detail about the scrappy approach. And so we've been talking about the more formal approach when you go to a bank and you're asking for capital. For those who maybe they've been running their company for 3 years, but they really are not profitable yet. And, is it possible to qualify for a loan? Well, another way is to use credit cards and it's a smaller amount of money. And the idea is that you can get a 0% APR card with a typical time period, 12 to 18 months. So 0%. And then the idea is, if it takes you the next 2 to 3 years, then maybe you could potentially roll it over once. If you do that, banks also pick up on that because your goal is to qualify for working capital. So if you do that too often, the bank is going to recognize that. But for those scrappy entrepreneurs that are looking for some of that bridge money, that might be a way to get you through some of those lean times with the goal of qualifying for a bank for a larger sum of money.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Kelly. I like that, the scrappy. So I'm going to ask just one question because all of us come at this from such a different perspective. I know that we have people here that specialize in the startup, in the individual or the business owner that has already been around for a little bit, and then a bigger while, and then the much bigger business owner. So we have everything here. So the question is, what is the one thing that you have encountered that if the business owner could do it, would save them time and resources? And let me start with you, Amanda.
This is one of my favorite things. I say automate to accelerate. And if you can invest the money and the initial time to set it up, a very robust CRM and automation is key to buying back your time, because if you can automate those tasks and your emails to your clients, your drip campaigns to keep them nurtured, your fulfillment process on any digital products, this stuff will work for you while you're talking to clients and doing those revenue generating activities. It is key. I own a business development company. We do this. And as any business owner, if you're not automating, like 80% of our tasks, I think, could be automated. And it's such a huge time saver and ultimately money saver, because then you get to go do what you do best.
Beautiful. So if you want to automate, you call Amanda. Okay, let's see. Kelly, let's have you go next. What is the one thing that you could say today? There's so many of them, everybody, but we're just going to focus on one thing right now, and then we'll come back next week with more advice for you.
As the investor here, I want you to set aside a small amount of money that you are investing alongside your business. It can be a small amount, even $25, $50 to get into the practice. So just like you set aside money for a tax account to pay your taxes, I want you to set aside a small amount so that you're investing and that money is growing effortlessly, and making your money work for you along the way.
I love that. Thank you, Kelly. So if you want to learn how to invest wisely, you go to Kelly. Now, Elizabeth, let's go to you next.
I think one of the things that I would recommend for business owners to really think through all of their risk associated to their business and finding ways to prudently mitigate as much as possible through the use of various resources that may be available. So sometimes what I see is entrepreneurs going in with an amazing idea, but they don't pause to really think about the things that could impact their idea that would prevent them from getting to their end goal. So just taking a pause and just thinking things through, getting together and throwing ideas with a group of friends or colleagues or other business advisors that you can speak to goes a long way in making sure that you protect your business from the get-go as you continue to venture into your business.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So basically with Elizabeth, mitigate risk. Let's go to you, Ambrose.
Yeah, I would say documentation over conversation. Document everything. That allows you to get your processes in place. That allows you to go back to reference material that you had put together, whether it's a plan or whether it's a relationship or whether it's something you've been offered. Most of us as we age, time makes it harder to keep track of exactly what you had. So whether you're going to your accountant now to start getting your books cleaned up, or if you're looking to present to a private lender, institutional lender, they're going to want your documentation. So that allows you to have a starting point and improve from there.
I love it. Thank you so much, Ambro. What I would say to you is negotiate and own your value. Too many business owners, we go into business and we're very passionate about our business and we're so grateful. Gratitude is wonderful, but gratitude does not take the role of the value that you're adding. And a lot of, especially minorities, women and minorities, we tend to be so grateful for what we have that we're willing to give it away. Don't give it away. Own your value. And if you want to learn how to negotiate, you can come to me. If you want to know how to documentation over conversation, you go to Ambro. If you want to mitigate risk, Elizabeth can help you with mitigate risk. Investing wisely, even just a little bit, a drip investment so that you don't even feel it, you go to Kelly. And automate and market in automation, you go to Amanda. So that concludes our first inaugural meeting. And so we're going to be calling this a round table. And I loosely call us the dream team for business. And so that concludes our time together. Thank you so much for being with us. Please get a hold of us through our social media, and we will see you next week.